Hello, welcome to another tutorial video. Just before we get into the meat of this one, I'd like to point out another YouTube channel which I think is really good, and the resources on there will really help you improve your writing, especially this one. The channel's called Help Me Mr. Davies, and if you bang it into Google, the first one that actually comes up here, the 5 tips for writing. If you click on that, it's a really good introductory guide to just improving your writing and making your writing stronger. So I would definitely recommend going on to that channel and having a look. One of the best things about it is that this gentleman actually, he actually gives you a lesson. He's teaching right in front of you, so it's a lot more kind of character-led and engaging than the ones I do, and I think that will give you a really good balance in making sure you get the best head start possible. And also, if I direct you to stuff that he's done, that also means I don't have to do it. So yeah, please take a look at that. It's well worth looking into. So back to our question, we're going to be looking at more AQA model material. And this is an exemplar for a top band. This one got a 7 out of 8, and we're going to be reading through it and actually assessing the examiner's comments, so we know what kind of things we're trying to give the examiner, and cross-referencing it with the assessment objective to understand why it's getting the marks. So what we're going to be seeing a lot of in this one is explaining and evaluating how writers use. How writers use. We're going to be looking at linguistic features, definitely in this one, and we're also going to be looking at presentational features, because this is our analyze presentation and link question, and we're going to be looking obviously at how the effects are achieved. So let's go. Explain the headline, subheadline and picture. Explain how the headline, subheadline and picture are effective and how they link with the text. The picture of a massive towering Tyrannosaurus Rex strikes you as you first scan over the page. So we see straight away where the ticks are. The ticks are in the language, because of the language actually used to describe it is quite complex, towering and strikes you, and also the idea that the picture is massive. So all those are ticked. They're not necessarily going to get us marks per se straight away. It's not like each tick here is a mark. But what it does give us is an idea of the candidate's ability straight away. And they move on to say, it seems to be towering over people, studying its fossil, and the idea of this creation ever being alive gives you the chills. So that's a perceptive comment, which is true, and also that's what the examiner's marked. And has also mentioned the effect here. So while we've got the examples, more eye-catching, more shocking, here is the effect giving you the chills. Next, you read the large, bold title, Fear. Some Tyrannosaurus Rex Sioux may have died of a sore throat. So we've picked out the idea there of, it's mentioned straight away. So we've actually mentioned the title device because it's large and bold straight away. And the element of sibilance plays a strong part in this title. So that's the repetition of the S sound, S all the way through. So that's looking at the linguistic features used. The element of sibilance plays a strong part in this title, along with the contradicting ideas of this dinosaur being fearsome, yet dying of something so insignificant. So they've got a mark there for actually interpreting what's being said. So remember, we're still always referring to this set, the AO1 as well. So here we've got the read and understand and the selecting appropriate material. So that's well done. I'm keeping it down on this one because more of our focus should come from here for this question. So yes, the examiner's given it obviously title advice, and he said this is a perceptive point and he's also made the link. The title with the contradicting the idea of the dinosaur being fearsome, and that's been well linked and well interpreted. This links to the picture, of the title, in the way that the dinosaur seems fearsome and reckless, yet it is propped up by a pole and is not dangerous, as you would imagine at first glance, and how the title suggests it was fearsome, yet was brought down to death with a cold. And then again, this shows understanding, and the link made here between the picture and it's being highlighted that the link's been made with the picture, and also the points being made that it's linking the cold with the actual picture. So you've got the power in the picture as opposed to the actual sorry or quite pathetic end that took this dinosaur out. In the first paragraph, you are bombarded with S sounds in the form of sibilance, for instance, famous specimen, The language appears to be in a formal tone and is written in the third person. So again, we're picking out this device. It's effective. I don't think you'd get more points for mentioning it again. Don't feel like you have to pick out everything again and again and again. Although this is worthy of a tick, it's not necessarily going to add anything to what they've already said, because we've already picked out and analysed that skill. We first learned that the new study suggested that Tyrannosaurus rex had not been killed in mortal combat, as we would expect the beast to be, but in the almost pathetic battle of an infection that causes sore throats in pigeons. By mentioning that it causes sore throats in something as small and insignificant as a pigeon, we are shocked that the beast was killed by something like this. So the links being made, the references being made from sore throats, and the links being made between the information in the article about the pigeon's death and the Tyrannosaurus rex's death. This impression is given in the subline where sample describes the Tyrannosaurus as the world's largest and the parasite as humble, giving us that same impression as the text. So the link there is being made between the subline, and the actual piece. And if we look down, I thought it was supposed to be sub-headline, but anyway, they explain how the headline, the sub-headline and picture. So you look at, we've gone so far, here we have the look at the picture, here we have the look at the headline, and here, and remember, it's not analysing the text in huge detail, it's really focusing on how those things link to the text. That's what's really important. So this brings us up to this idea here, where we're actually collating from different sources, from cross-referencing as appropriate to pick up the right things from the title and the headline and actually cross-reference them. So the last part then, the facts later on in the piece giving us the dinosaur size only add to the sample sustained idea of something so beastly to be brought down by a common cold. This is executed well with exaggeration and adjectives such as violent and scarred. The emphasis there is on how the language is effective, but this is only adding. That's the reason that this is relevant. You see the word, it says adding to what's come before, adding to the idea of the picture, because everything that it's actually mentioned before, here's a section where it's actually adding to it. So this gets a band 4, it gets a 7 out of 8, and again, if you look at that, you'll see it's not as complex as, and that's probably why it gets a 7. It's very kind of clear, very straightforward. It does everything it's supposed to do. The bit about sibilance was actually very perceptive, but the rest of it, if you see even in the comments the examiners put, understanding shown, perceptive here, understanding shown, interprets, analyzes title device, links to sub-headline, links to effect, interpretation, device is effective, and here this perceptive, but that's the same point mentioned earlier. So the perception links to text and links again. So it does everything it should do very well. It doesn't necessarily keep up the perceptive element all the way through, otherwise it would have got an 8. But hopefully from going through this you can see that the writing is quite straightforward. It's just showing a clear understanding, and making the links as requested is what's really going to get you the marks.